Hey there, thanks for clicking on this week's video, where I'm going to help save you from going down the rabbit hole of the wrong white paint colors. White walls are having a real moment in design right now. All those beautiful Instagram images of homes with white walls, black windows, open concepts have all of us dreaming of how we can turn our homes into these dreamy-like spaces. But for most of us, if we painted our homes white and changed nothing else, it could mean potential design disaster. I can't tell you the number of times clients or trades I've been working with told me they just want it white, not realizing there are actually hundreds of different white paint options out there. Just look at this one paint fan from Benjamin Moore that is labeled whites and neutrals. If you are building a new home or completing a renovation where everything is being replaced, then your options are really limitless when it comes to your paint color selections. If, however, you have existing finishes like cabinets, counters, and woods that are going to stay, then you have a bit more work cut out for you when it comes to selecting the right whites to work with these elements. Your first order of business is developing an understanding of the undertones of your existing finishes. If your home has finishes and furnishings that lean towards very warm colors like browns, reds, and oranges, the whites you select for walls or trim should also have a warm undertone to them. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at a paint fan and open all the whites, you'll start to see that some of the whites will look very cool with maybe a hint of blue under them, and some will look very warm and creamy with maybe a hint of yellow or brown under them. And then some will start to lean to the pinks. It's super important that you're comparing them to your finishes in your home, not just looking at them in the paint store or comparing them to each other. You might be very surprised how the whites change their appearance when you put them next to your finishes. Almost all of these colors will read white when put up on walls, but if you choose the wrong white, it could not only make your walls look a funny color, but could also make your cabinets, counters, or other finishes look really dirty or just off in color. One way to make selecting the right white a little easier is to find the paint color closest to the finishes that are in the area you will be painting, and then move up the row in the fan deck to find the whitest option. This can work as long as you're comfortable matching paints to your existing finishes. If you have multiple finishes that appear to have different undertones, you might want to select the easiest ones to change and then add them to your project scope. If your finishes don't work together, paint is not going to save the day. In my experience, I've also found that most paint colors will appear slightly darker when you are looking at a tiny sample than when they actually go up on your walls. So if you're feeling a bit nervous that a color might be just a tad darker than you're after, it's likely that that is the perfect color for you. It's really important to not just look at pretty Pinterest pictures and take the white color that they used and apply it to your space. You need to do your homework to make sure it's the right white for your space. I do have a few favorite white paint colors that I'm going to be putting into our next downloadable PDF. So just watch for it over the course of the next few weeks. Now, there is another point I want to discuss as we explore the white paint craze, and that is who lives in your space and how does the space get used. So if you have children, big or small, understand that with white walls, you are going to be cleaning more and doing more paint touch-ups more frequently. White will always show normal wear and tear more easily. So make sure you're going in with eyes wide open before committing to painting your whole house white. Going with a white that maybe has a touch of gray or brown in it might just buy you a little bit more forgiveness. So give that some thought. The last thing I want to talk about is matching whites. If you have white cabinets or white furniture in a space and you want to add in more whites, I do suggest trying to match the whites as close as possible. If you can't get a very close match, then make sure the new colors you add have the same undertone as we discussed earlier. But maybe go further away from the original color so it doesn't look like you tried to match but missed. And if this is still just way too overwhelming, there are professionals that can help. So whether it's enlisting the help of someone at your local Benjamin Moore store or hiring a designer to come to your home, if it means getting the white right from the start, you will be glad you did. Until next time, happy designing everyone, and feel free to reach out to me via Instagram, and we'll do our best to get your questions answered in a future video.